This is the Daily Saints Pod with Zach and Greg.
Hello, Saints fans, and welcome back to the Daily Saints Pod. My name is Greg, and as always, today joined by my good friend and wonderful co-host, Zach. And mate, one of the most incredible comebacks in football history, and it won't even be the top footballing story of the night because some bloke won't cut his hair. What we saying?
It's I tell a lie they've levelled, but that isn't a win. Yeah, no, you're right. That has become like the fact that it's been all I've seen all day from Sky Sports News is them talking about that bloke. And I don't know, I feel like the Leicester fans are shell-shocked, mate. But I think I'm more shell-shocked because you put it quite good at half-time where you were like, don't worry, Dr. Southampton's here to fix your problem. We're gonna gift you 3 points. You're gonna have a striker score for the first time in like 47 games, or the second time in 47 games. You know, we're there to. What's that? Failing strike force. Don't worry, we'll gift you a goal. And that doesn't, like, to be fair, the first half dire. Rest in peace, Cameron Archer's Southampton career. That's my
Look, right.
I know it's not entirely on him.
Let's get this discussion out of the way because, and I'll start by saying he was poor, right? But also, we just played the same way we tried to play to Ross Stewart, which isn't going to work because he isn't Ross Stewart. He's a different player, a different profile of player. We did not switch up our tactic to try and get it along the floor to him and get him running in behind. And admittedly, the one time he did get in behind, he missed it, and the other time he was offside. But, you know, it's not entirely on him, but not having that out option cost us. And I mean, to be fair, 3-0 in the first half really flattered Leicester. They weren't as good as that score suggested. We were poor, but they were 2 moments of quality and one. I mean, what was Perez doing, man?
When I tell you Boric vibes, I knew that it would result in most of the time playing really, really well, and then occasionally just a couple. And we've seen it the last 2 or 3 games in a row where there's been really horrible moments that he's managed to get away with. Right, last game specifically, last 2 minutes in, and he was always eventually going to get punished. And yeah, trying to come out. The same thing, like we got lucky a couple of times. I think at one point, you know, there was like Taylor Harbour-Bellis and Stevens both missed a header that resulted in them almost scoring. But the difference today has been, which I never thought we'd say, we actually put in the fight, and also it worked. Even when that 4th goal went in, which was a beautiful goal from Shea Charles, by the way, I kind of was just like, really? Just waiting for like offside to be given or something. Like, this doesn't happen to us. We're not that team. We are, as you pointed out, we're Dr. Southampton. We'll fix all of your problems and take the hit on against our points tally.
I'll tell you now, mate, I wasn't waiting around to look for an offside flag. I was down the other end of the lounge with my shirt off. Lucky I didn't wake up the entire street. I couldn't believe it. It's just the most ridiculous thing I've ever witnessed.
It's very, to be like, they went up, they were really aggressive at the beginning. Like, it was really disappointing from us, but I spoke about it to you in the preview. It's like wounded animal syndrome, right? Like, they were at home, they were extremely damaged, by everything off the field, on the field. But I also would like to point out that, like, they brought off an 18-year-old and brought on a 17-year-old. That's the level of their squad depth. We were able to rectify the problems that we had by bringing on, Ross Stewart, bringing on Shea Charles, who then obviously went on to score the winner. And obviously, Matsuki for Fellows, who also was having a bit of an off day. It's the first time I've really seen us start to properly utilise our strong bench, right? That's 2 games in a row we've won with quality off of the bench, which is something that for the rest of the season hasn't really happened. And, it was just I'm just still a bit crazed. Like, I felt so bad for those people that have been out there, going all the way up to Leicester to what just be 3-0 down. And I'm like, I'd almost packed in at half time. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. But I almost said to you at half time, let's just record the podcast now. And let me tell you, that would have been a very different podcast than we are recording now. But we talked before the game about psychology and psychologists and mental resilience and the importance of that. And I mean, you don't go out and put in a second half comeback performance like that. I mean, that doesn't happen as a Saints fan, maybe ever in Saints history, right? That's just not us.
My wife had the audacity, mate, to try and say, "Oh, that's very Saints coming back and winning 4-3." I was like, "No, it's not. Saints would be giving them 9." that's literally Southampton. So yeah, you're right. The mental fortitude to be able to go back. I expected us to do what we've done a lot of this season and last season, which is at best we maybe score 1, or alternatively we see it out without conceding another goal. Not only did we not concede a goal, we scored 4. What happens in second halves? Oh, Tonda doesn't do second halves. Turns out that's just flipped on its head.
I mean, and I just it's crazy, and I can't help but feel a little bit sorry for Leicester. I mean, the Leicester commentators that I had from my chalet in France definitely helped me feel not as bad for Leicester. Don't get me wrong, but imagine losing a game in that manner and then having to go to the team that beat you like that's home at the weekend and play them again. Like,
after they've already beaten you once at home 3-0.
How do you pick yourself up and go and do that? I know that it's going to be different teams. Like, there's going to be a ridiculous amount of rotation, but man, like, it's crazy. I can't believe, never in a million years. Like I said to you when we got the second back, like, rescuing a point here is probably good enough based on the position we got ourselves in that first half. And I just can't believe it. I can't believe the quality that came on. Subs making an impact, Stewart scoring almost immediately. Matsuki just putting himself about in a way that they didn't have an answer for, right? That we didn't see fellows do at all in the first half.
Jack Stevens, captain, all over, like, manages to score the harder one out of the 2 that he struck, right?
Where did that volley come from?
Again,
that's a finish any striker's proud of, to be clear.
Showing the credentials that he had at the beginning of the season with our win against Wrexham. And then Ryan Manning, who has been, I guess, rightly or wrongly, but I'd say rightly on the most part, criticised by us, coming in, scoring another really good goal. Once again,
in the right position, puts it in the net. Great. And then, Shea Charles just capitalising, like you said, on a mistake. And I mean, what a finish.
That's 3 goals from 3 substitutes, though, by the way. That's, again, like, that's the quality and the difference and the ability, Like, when we're bringing on sort of Ross Stewart, they're bringing on 900-year-old Jordan Ayew. Like, I do feel sorry for them to an extent, but not enough for me to not want to gloat about it. Like, it really sucks, but also, like, we've blown a lead before. I don't remember us blowing a lead that bad. Not in a long time. Like, that's just tragic, quite frankly. Like, we gave them all of the hope in the world and then tore it asunder. Like, it's, I can't work out if it was a masterclass or completely accidental. But again, like, it comes back to that conversation we had about mental fortitude and the ability for our team to, go on and do that. Like, man, I'm so proud of all of them today. Because again, by half-time, I was very convinced that was kind of game, set, match, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I just can't believe it. I'm still completely shocked, baffled, amazed.
What was the stat you gave? This is the first time in the entirety of the history of the club we've ever come back from 3-0 down.
Yeah, I haven't. I saw that banded about. I haven't verified it, so grain of salt.
Grain of salt, but still, I can't remember a time. Maybe when we beat Huddersfield. How many times was that? Like 5-2?
Yes. Yeah, I think that finished 5-3, but I don't think there was ever more than a 2-goal lead in it. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's not a game. It feels like the sort of thing that if it had happened, you would absolutely remember. So.
Yeah, because it's very much, it feels like it never really has happened to us or happens to us. We're very much usually on the other side, right? And that's what we talked about earlier, like your rage-filled tweets to me about, like, don't worry, we'll give you whoever, You know, we'll sort it out for you guys. You know, no manager, suspended players. Don't worry about it. And for us to actually, again, like it's almost more damage, as you pointed out, like the psychological damage of that, followed by Saturday, regardless of whether or not we care about the FA Cup or not. It's going to be difficult. It's brutal, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. The most upsetting part of all of it is that kicking Leicester while they're down like that probably does Pompey a favour.
Yeah, but if we're still here next season, do you not want another South Coast derby?
Oh, absolutely, I do.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
We want one where we win, for starters.
Don't want it to be our hand that saves them, mate. Like, come on, have some pride.
Yeah, no, for sure. But that also puts us into 9th, by the way.
Yeah,
so we're now in the top half.
Now off of playoffs.
Which is, man, that's a upsetting statistic, isn't
Wrexham and Preston both have games in hand that could change
for sure,
to more points. But
even so, the turnaround has been quite substantial. And again, I was fully ready to embrace a very, very depressing episode this evening and sort of like what happened there and what could we do better. And especially with the fact that for a vast majority of this season, and I know I'm just repeating myself here, but we talked about how we weren't a second half team. And that's been flipped on its head. The last 2 games, we've won in the second half, and we've won from the impact of substitutions, which previously was something that just didn't happen. And yeah, I just think it's what a fantastic night for everybody. What a fantastic night for all those people that have gone on probably one of the largest away days in the middle of the week. Would have seen the
game that got brought forward instead of pushed back as well.
Like, yeah, exactly that.
Short notice.
By far the best viewing around the Championship today is right. Like Norwich beat Oxford 3-0, Birmingham, West Brom 0-0. And again, all outshone by the fact that some bloke's not getting a haircut.
Crazy.
Devastating.
It's important, though, for the team. It's important for the team to not get too caught up in the joy and still learn from what happened in that first half, though, right? That's not something that we're going to get away with maybe ever again. So it's important to think about it. But, I mean, Yander not having his best game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Archer we've talked about, but yeah, just wasn't helped by the system we set up and tried to play him as. It was always strange choice to put him in, to be honest. It's a little bit like throwing him up the river with that paddle.
It very much feels like they've obviously promised him some game time after his move fell apart, right? And the idea of not adapting for him seems kind of nuts and not having those conversations. We've pointed this out every time it's happened, right? And again, as soon as they brought on that target man, the quality was different. And again, part of the reason that we won that game was down to, Leicester's change of tactics towards the end. The fact that they kind of just thought, we're just going to go defensive now, to a back 5, make substitutions and kind of try and see out the game. Despite the fact that we'd scored 1 and they were rocky, was very, very silly. And if it wasn't those sort of decisions, we probably wouldn't have managed to win that, if I'm totally honest, if they carried on pressing the way they did in the first half. So yeah, it's very important we try not to completely capitulate that again. It's just mad that we turned that around, but we wouldn't have had to have turned it around if we just hit it. Am I happy about the way this win took place? Yes. Is it talked about for ages? Yeah. Are me and Greg absolutely buzzing? Yeah. Did we have to take a break before we started recording to actually compose ourselves enough to talk in a way that we're able to discuss the game without just, screaming, let's have it, or something to the equivalent? Also, yes. However, as great as that was, we should have been winning 2 or 3-0 early doors, put it to bed, see out the game, and not, concede 3 goals in often. Well, one of them magical bit of pit, but 2 of the others probably definitely preventable. So, yeah, I don't know how I feel.
Someone we've not talked about, mate. I've just had a stat pop up on my screen in front of me. We talked about him not being entirely at the races in some games recently, but gets the pass because he's the player that still seems to drag the team up. Leo Cienza created 4 big chances against Leicester this evening, the most by a player in a single championship game since October 2023.
Well, you could see that with the Ross Stewart goal, right? Like, you could see, and it's the first half, again, it's always like you're always going to focus more on everything that's negative. And with Cienza, it's very much like we're very, very praise heavy because, one, the bloke's just a great bloke, and the fact he's very, very good at football. And there have been times where we probably should have been maybe a bit more critical when he's not made a pass that he should have. But the other reason we don't really bring up those criticisms is because the consistency of doing things like that. Like, he's the one that scored the goal against Portsmouth. He's the one that kicked us on to the win tonight, right? All of those things are so vital, and why he's become such an integral part and cult hero already, you know?
He sets the standard, right? Even if he's having a poor game, he's putting in 110% and getting kicked absolutely ragged and still trying to run at players, even if it's not always coming off. And that desire and that drive, like, filters across the rest of the team. There's no other way to put it. And I've seen praise as well. You mentioned earlier Jack Stevens. I've seen Tonda in some of his post-match presser stuff that's coming out saying that he didn't actually say a huge amount at half-time, but Stevens stepped in and was outstanding and showed leadership and then scored that volley. Like, yeah, crazy. What a way to keep the momentum going, right? To come back like that. Like, how can your confidence after that not be at the highest it's been in 18 months?
Yeah. And like, there are kind of means that, like, we've talked about the criticisms a little bit. It definitely covers those up, because if we're able to, like, counter that, it's a nice thing, right? Like, we talked about Archer, and you also kind of had some criticisms for Azaz because the guy just won't run sometimes, and those kind of things. Again, like, had it gone completely the way, it'd be different. But the fact of the matter is the momentum is with us, so it's kind of nice that we just get to be like, oh man, look at how well we're doing. You know, so what's that now? Like, how many points out of the last 5?
Well, mate, that's 4 wins and a draw. So, right. Quick math says 13.
So so now it's like pointing out the small nitty gritty things. And again, doesn't take the emphasis on the weird stuff that goes on outside the club. Sports are probably really happy that this is happening and that they will maybe take some of the emphasis off. And there is still the big worry about what happens in the summer. But from the footballing side of things, considering everybody thought that after Tonda got the job, he was a one-trick pony, ourselves to an extent included, right? Can you name a manager in the last seasons that we pulled that off? But the last time that someone pulled something like that off was Russell Martin, and we all know how that ended. But I don't see a Will Still team doing that. I don't see an Ivan Juric team doing that.
No.
Regardless of the fact that whether or not we think he's the most charismatic bloke or whatever, and regardless of whether or not he said a lot at half time, like, clearly something he's doing just got galvanizing them a little bit.
He's just got that in check. He's just got this, like, quiet, unhinged energy about him that I find incredibly endearing, and I don't know why, but I really like him. And I mean, like you say, we saw bounces at points under certain managers recently, but to have a bounce and then a dip and then pull it back and then look like you're going to go back into another dip, but then score 4 goals in 45 minutes to win a ridiculous game of football. Like, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, there's been talk about whether if we go up or if we go down, if we keep him as manager, but he's just doing everything he can to make that decision impossible to not be the case, right? It's just, what way to turn it around? You're right. No other manager we've had maybe even makes those changes that dramatically at half-time. Because a triple change at half-time that's a statement, right? Like,
yeah,
there's no other way about it.
This has been unacceptable, and we need to make a change immediately. And again, all I was hoping at that point was that it would just keep them out. Let's make sure we don't capitulate anymore. What will that do for the team? Like, you can see, I don't know if you've seen, or like as we're obviously recording, we're starting to see more and more of the media come out and all of the scenes at full time and how together the team is. And man, it's just nice to see because it's felt so long. And by the way, Greg, I've just seen another weird stat. Do you know that Huddersfield game that I referenced earlier happened on the 10th of February in 2024? That's just a bit weird.
That's crazy. Clearly, the games of football that are best happen on the 10th of February for us. I don't know. Yeah, that's...
Apparently so, but you need to remember that, that was when the tide started to turn, and then we had our little run towards the end where we almost bottled it from winning and then didn't make the playoffs. But, it's got to instill nothing but positivity, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of where I'm at. I just think,
And, again, now we head into a weekend in a game that, let's be honest, no one cares about.
You can't keep saying that. We're a daily podcast.
I mean, if we win, sure, we get another game and we'll go and lose to Liverpool in the next round instead. Fine.
You're right. We do get a day out at Anfield.
And if we don't, then whatever. Leicester's kids get their little bit of comeuppance on the maybe one player that played tonight that gets on the pitch on Saturday, right? Like, it's not as important because now, we've talked all season about whether playoffs is on or off or what, and it's not at any point been closer than it is now, right? So it's on, and that's the focus, and will continue to be the focus. So we can't be bothered about a cup run or the sentimentality of it being, 50 years since we won it, because we're not going to win it anyway. So just put all our eggs in the league because that's what matters. So
just point out this Shay Charles quote for you, by the way, mate, which is, if one team can score 3 in one half, we can score 3 or 4. We said at half time, if we score 1, then we can score the rest. Only my second goal for Southampton. I do it in training. It's about time. So we talk about confidence. We talk about running in that momentum. Like, does that seem like a team bereft of confidence to you?
Yeah. That's... Sure. Yeah, no, if they've done it, we can do it. Add one more. Why not? Sure. That is...
I know, but I wouldn't have believed that. So there's something about it.
Believe
they
that.
Are. Yeah. Do you think that finally puts the demon of the 9-0 loss to bed?
It has to, right? It absolutely
is it finally over now? Can they stop? Can they stop selling the DVD? Like, they won the league a decade ago at this point, right? Like, it's done. I'm afraid that you can't keep holding that over after that game, in my opinion. But yeah, like I said, commiserations to them. But man, was that a good game? Man, was that a win? Man, has it made late night recording after I've been not feeling great? Just worth it, mate. At the end of the day. Sorry if it's been a bit all over the place, but guys, come on. You're lucky you're getting a recording. We were so hyperactive about it. It was nuts.
Somehow I've now got to go and go to sleep. I just don't know if it was like a shot of adrenaline. Unbelievable, fantastic. Not the podcast an hour ago I thought we'd be recording.
No, not even slightly.
So I'm happy. I'm absolutely thrilled for the team. Crazy.
This is the problem, right? We're like, how do you analyse that? Like, the first half, terrible, awful, was going to be super mad, was already feeling myself gearing up to be cross and being like, we've done it again. But no, that isn't what we did. We somehow came back. We somehow scored 4 goals. 2 of those goals were scored by us, by defenders, as goes the tradition of the joke. Shay Charles getting an absolute screaming winner. Leicester put to the sword. What else is there to say, mate?
Well,
fantastic
the next game
on to the next
league,
one.
Mate, believe it or not, is the return to St Mary's of Nathan Jones, who we rather embarrassed earlier in the season. So maybe
we go again.
Maybe it just gets better and better. This is the upward trajectory we were looking for. This is it.
It's finally nice to start enjoying the Championship properly. It's just taken a hot minute,
Yeah.
It's taken a while. It's not been pretty. We've lost a manager along the way, but we're finally onto something, you know?
Mate, look, without the perspective of the bad times, the good times aren't as good, you know?
Yeah, you end up...
It only seems higher when you're looking down at the low you've just come from.
You end up like Liverpool, right, where they get like a draw and then they call it disgraceful. It's like, and then or like Arsenal, where you've got their manager complaining they didn't score from a set piece in a 3-0 win. Like, I don't want to live in a world where that's a team that I have to be part of, right? I'm quite happy to support Southampton for the rest of my life, as much as it's painful, because they are the city that we're from and they are our team. And today we can be really, really proud of them, right?
Yeah, very proud. Incredible scenes. And then, I mean, cherry on the cake in the cup, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. Unbelievable. Great stuff. Look, that is all we've got time for this evening. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Zach, for staying with me through the excitedness and the ridiculousness. Look, let us know your thoughts, how you're feeling, because I bet there are some fantastic thoughts about that display, both parts of it. Let us know in the comments on the socials. We've got Daily Saints Pod everywhere. TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, Blue Sky. Hit us up. Let us know. We love hearing from you. And as a newly independent podcast, all of that engagement goes such a long way to helping us out and really drives us on and motivates us because we love engaging with it ourselves.
And to be clear, we've really noticed it. We've noticed the uptake in comments and the uptake in subscribers and stuff. And it's super appreciated by the both of us, really honestly.
Yeah, it motivates us and drives us to keep doing this and keep putting out content every single day through the ups and the downs. And it's nice to be enjoying those ups at the moment. So yeah, while you're there, give us a like, give us a subscribe. It's all really appreciated. But we'll be back tomorrow to have maybe a slightly more focused, structured discussion about something football. I don't know. Where's the fun in that? Until then, everyone, enjoy that and have a much easier, wonderful day because of it. And until then, have a great day.
This is the Daily Saints Pod with Zach and Greg. Leicester, you got Anatonda dream!